Y'all take that, rocket boy.
Heavy is quite loud and slow. His weapons tend to be one of the loudest things in the game and take some time to rev up, so trying to surprise an enemy can be a bit difficult, especially with the accuracy and damage ramp up mechanic in place. But what I like about Tomislav is that it improves the downsides I mentioned earlier while not making Heavy unbearably strong. Tomislav is Heavy's best primary, and here I want to tell you all about it. And now I must explain about its ups and downs and how it ruined my marriage. Tomislav is quite simple. You rev up faster, it's more accurate so your bullets hit the tiny baby enemies more, and my personal favorite perk, it's silent, making it really good ambushing weapon, and in exchange for all these upsides, it shoots slightly slower. Before we talk about this weapon, I must talk about its crazy history. Back in the Uber update, this weapon used to rev up 75% faster, meaning it made Heavy unbearably fast and overpowered. Imagine surprising the Heavy and he just revs up his weapon in like 0.2 seconds. That sounds really terrifying. And then it was nerfed to the ground and stayed like that for a while, but it was then buffed into a more healthy state in gunmetal and hasn't been touched ever since. I just wanted to share that small history lesson as I thought it was interesting. But back to the topic in hand, Tomislav is Heavy's best primary. I know there's the whole Tommy versus minigun debate, but I don't really understand it when Tomislav is basically stuck but better. Tommy is a much more accurate weapon, which means it has a tighter spread, which also means more bullets hit the tiny baby enemies. It's more effective at medium to long range where you either need to finish off the enemy or start chipping in some damage. You could argue it's forced at closer range because you need to be more accurate with it, but that actually increases the skill floor as the better tracking skills you have, the more you can fill your enemies with lead. Then the faster spin up time is great for rev hopping, as Heavy's miniguns take long time to rev up and constantly hopping and revving is a bit slow, but with Tommy you don't necessarily lose as much speed, and if the enemy catches you off guard, it only takes 0.6 seconds for you to fight back. And then my favorite aspect of this weapon is how it sounds when revved up, and what I mean by that is the lack of noise it makes. Heavy's weapons are loud and by just can alert the enemies that you are near, so you usually want to only rev if absolutely necessary. But with Tomislav it's perfect for ambushing your enemies. What's scarier than Heavy who is revved up? A Heavy that is revved up but you have no idea where he is, making it almost like a horror game where carelessly moving around can prove fatal. Your enemies won't have any idea where you are to rip them a new one, as how could they know when you are silent? You can mitigate the accuracy and damage penalties as well, because you can keep your weapon ready and make no noise at the same time. This also means that you're less vulnerable to spies, as you can actually hear something, and trust me, anything that helps me fend off those Pagueto monsters off, the better. And yes, I know, I shall probably mention the downside. The minigun enjoyers usually argue that because it fires slower, you deal less DPS. To that I must say, they're absolutely wrong. This downside doesn't even matter, like it says minus 20% firing speed, but because of a bug with the minigun, it's actually minus 15% slower. And again, it doesn't matter. You shred enemies in 0.5 seconds instead of 0.4, and let me tell you, that 0.1 second doesn't even matter. If it means that I can actually camp around the corners, bunny hop better, hear spies approaching and have better accuracy just for a small firing speed penalty, I'm sorry minigun fans, but Tomislav is just simply the better option. Plus it looks great. It's an oversized and heavily modified Thompson SMG. The wood looks really great, and especially since I got this Aussie Tomislav from Man vs Machine, I think I know which weapon I prefer to use. So, that's why I think Tomislav is Heavy's best weapon. I know the minigun is much more iconic and is Heavy's favorite weapon canonically, but the numbers don't lie, man. Tommy is just better. This weapon allows me to be more effective with Heavy, as I love ambushing enemies and I have more bullets hit my targets. But hey, that's just my opinion. Make sure to give out your own talks on this weapon as well, and maybe tell me why you like Tommy over the stock, or other way around, why you like stock more, as I like reading what other people think. Be sure to like the video as well if you want to see more TF2 stuff in the future. Thank you all for watching and have a nice day.